Also breaking here at 6 o'clock, in the last 2 hours, Governor Josh Stein vetoed 2 anti-immigration bills. Stein says Senate Bill 153 would make us less safe and called House Bill 318 unconstitutional. Both of those bills were part of the reason that these protests happened all over the state and the country over the last couple of weeks. WRAL's Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie joining us now live from the governor's mansion. Laura, this was a big step for the governor.
It was. You know, Lena, these were Governor Josh Stein's first vetoes, and we were watching to see how he would approach them. Some observers thought that he could possibly allow the bill that deals with sheriffs to become law without his signature, simply because there's a chance that his veto on that bill could be overridden. But immigrant advocates, I should say, this week were calling on Stein to veto both. One bill expands the existing law requiring sheriffs to hold arrestees who have an ICE detainer. The other is much more sweeping, requiring local and state police to work with ICE and requiring citizenship checks for social services, education, and even public health. Immigrant advocates rallied outside the governor's mansion this week, calling on Stein to veto both bills. Reverend Ricardo Correa says they would lead to racial profiling.
Let's be clear about this. SB 153 and HB 318 don't just target undocumented immigrants. They create a climate where any Latino person, no matter their citizenship, can be stopped, questioned, or detained simply because of how they look, what language they speak, or where they're from.
In his veto message, the governor said the bill requiring sheriffs to hold people for ICE is unconstitutional. Stein said the other bill would make communities less safe by stretching already thin law enforcement resources. Republican state lawmakers say they're confident they'll be able to override the vetoes. House Speaker Dustin Hall sponsored the bill regarding sheriffs. He said Governor Stein has made one thing clear today. He stands with criminal illegal aliens and the most radical elements of his party's base over the safety and security of North Carolinians. And Senate Leader Phil Berger sponsored the bill about police and government services. He said he'd rather prioritize his far-left donors and their dangerous open border policies over the citizens of North Carolina. Now, Stein also vetoed a third bill today. He vetoed a bill that would have allowed anyone 18 and over to carry a concealed weapon without a permit or training. In his veto message, Stein said authorizing teenagers to carry a concealed weapon with no training whatsoever is dangerous. All those bills now go back to the legislature, where Republican lawmakers will get a chance to try to override the vetoes. Those override votes could happen as soon as next week. Laura Leslie, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.